Hello everyone, my name is Vadzim. I'm a Salesforce developer with 3 years of experience in the field. In addition to that, I have experience in Python, Java program languages. Mainly, I worked on healthcare domain projects. I've been working for Customertimes since 2020. Today, I'm happy to tell you about ChatGPT chatbot and how it can be applied in Salesforce development. ChatGPT Generative Pre-trained Transformer is a chatbot launched by OpenAI in November 2022. OpenAI has released several versions of ChatGPT, with each version having more parameters and better performance than the previous version. The latest version of ChatGPT is known as GPT-3, and it has 175 billion parameters, making it one of the largest and powerful language model to date. ChatGPT uses artificial intelligence to understand and generate human language. But, as I said, ChatGPT is a language model that uses artificial intelligence to understand and generate human language. But let's step aside for a bit and talk about artificial intelligence and its benefits and disadvantages. Artificial intelligence has been booming in the last decade. The potential is huge, possibilities seem limitless. The benefits are huge as well. So investment to AI is assessed as 2.8 trillion euros in 2022. AI is ability of machine to produce cognitive functions like humans do, such as perception, learning, reasoning, and solve problem. AI is in other words, AI is a science of teaching machine to mimic or reproduce human tasks. There are 3 phases of AI development. The first one is called as narrow or low AI. A machine can perform only a specific task in better than a human. The second one is called as general or strong AI. Machine can perform any intelligent task without any specific instructions at the same level of accuracy as a human. And machine must be able to solve problems, learning, plan, and use knowledge for decision making. And the third one is known as artificial superintelligence. A machine can outperform a human in every aspect of task, from creativity, general wisdom, to problem solving. It's safe to say that current level of OpenAI development is narrow or weak. The main goal for coming years is to try to master general AI, where focus is on increasing the capabilities of self-learning component. There are concerns about artificial superintelligence, as it could mean that AI will take over the world and wiping out humanity. But there is a more optimistic theory that AI and humans will go hand in hand to optimize current processes. Let's list AI benefits. Access. AI machines can be placed where it's unsafe for human, from laboratories to mines, from deep ocean caves to other planets. Accuracy. Difficult decisions can be made based on data-driven arguments that aren't limited by fear, distraction, lack of human attention, and emotional reactions. Repetitive manual tasks. AI can take over low-level repetitive tasks, allowing to employee to be focused on more strategic and high-level job. Convenience. Easy to perform actions. Limited effort, high reward. Let's discuss about AI disadvantages. Lack of transparency. AI is allowed to make decisions based on self-learning algorithms. It means that it's difficult and to understand and challenge if experts leave the company. Ethics. If biased people train the AI machine, the system will be polluted with discriminated data, and therefore the machine will be polluted with this data. And it will get worse and worse. Responsibility. It's become harder to point out a responsible side of failed self-learning AI machine. In the end, it determines its own way. Privacy issues. The trade-off between privacy assurance and large amounts of data, which leads to better results. We've covered, in 2016, there was a situation when a computer beats the world champion of Go game, Lee Sedol from South Korea. That was a fact that computer, low artificial intelligence, has supposed the smartest person on the earth. So, we've covered the basic understanding of AI and its advantages and disadvantages. Now, let's go back to ChatGPT. I remember that ChatGPT uses artificial intelligence to generate and understand human language. This means that it can understand the meaning of words and sentences and generate text that is similar to what a human say or write. This makes it a powerful tool for a wide range of tasks, such as answering questions. ChatGPT can answer questions and provide relevant and appropriate response. This is useful for such things like customer service, where a computer can answer questions instead of human. The next one, generating creative writing. ChatGPT can generate creative and engaging text, such as poems, stories, and even song lyrics. Summarizing information. ChatGPT can read through a large amount of data and summarize main points and make it easier to understand for people. Language translation. ChatGPT can be trained to translate text from one language to another with a high accuracy. Ability to write, debug, explain computer programs, and etc. The most impressive thing of ChatGPT is its ability to understand context. It means that it takes into account what have seen or written before and provide more accurate and appropriate response. The another interesting fact is that it's continuously been updated and fine-tuned with new data. That means that is getting better and more accurate over time. In order to avoid any offensive responses from ChatGPT, all queries are thoroughly reviewed by OpenAI's company-wide moderation API. Racist or sexist prompts aren't entertained. In terms of its development, ChatGPT uses transformation architecture. It's a neural network architecture that allows it to process large amounts of data and make predictions based on patterns it's seen before. It's cutting-edge technology that makes ChatGPT a powerful and efficient tool. No doubt, it works better in English, but all other languages are possible to be used. As for security, we don't strongly recommend to write any personal, client, or sensitive data in ChatGPT. So we've covered all general characteristics of ChatGPT, and now I'm going to present some practical materials. First, let's watch a fun video from Instagram where two men would like to ask a question in ChatGPT. Let's watch.
Today we're trying out ChatGPT. You can literally ask it anything. So what do you want to ask it? Write an essay about why Taylor Swift should be president. Write an essay about why Taylor Swift should be president.
Oh God, another one. Why should Taylor be president? Hi, it's Taylor. She's the problem, but also the solution.
It's very good, Arjun. Very good.
Holy shit.
It's like an actual person wrote it. What do you want to ask him next?
Hey, yeah, we have to come clean, okay? We are not AI. We are Arjun and Imran. You're right, man. Fuck this.
Man, what the hell?
Yeah, this happens sometimes.
So, as you can see, you can ask any question ChatGPT and it gives a responsive answer. Additional to that, you saw that service can go down. It's normal situation because there is a high demand from people. For example, OpenAI assessed that ChatGPT already had 1 million users by December 4th. So let's go to another use case.
Today we're trying out.
We work and communicate a lot with our customers, and it takes some time to create appropriate email to them. So it's where ChatGPT is irreplaceable and useful thing because it can create an email in seconds. I've prepared one request to ChatGPT. It sounds like compose a formal email to the client explaining why the server rollout has been delayed in 3 days, and please provide 3 versions. Let's watch how it works in reality.
So I'll comment on this bit. Vadzim wrote the prompt to the chat-like interface, and the ChatGPT provides read the inputs and provides the answer as it was requested. So some formal email about the delay and 3 options how to write it. So it even gets the answers with sans yours, etc. So just put your name and client name and just push send it to all.
Or
everyone.
you can combine them with each together and replace something. It doesn't matter. So, but it's done in seconds.
So
yeah, as you see, it gives 3 different emails with polite and client-oriented constructions. So it's easy and fast to proceed with client communication with different samples. So now let's shift to Salesforce, and you will see how good the chat is here. As for Salesforce cases, there is a wide range of ways how can we use it, such as explaining code, generating test, write documentation, and so on. As you may know, a developer doesn't always create something new from scratch. Thus, he has to understand an existing code to embed a new functionality. And sometimes it causes difficulties because it's time-consuming task, especially for junior developers. I mean the situation when a code has a lot of unfamiliar code structures or unfamiliar library functions. And there is a requirement quietly fast fix a bug. Let's take a look how ChatGPT can explain the code. The task is pretty simple, just explain the following JS code. Let's watch how it works. Oh, sorry, not this one. Yeah, it's correct. Slide. I've just put it. Sorry, something wrong with presentation. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct, Alex. Everything is okay. Yeah, I've just put it a code in ChatGPT, and as you can see, it goes step by step, explaining almost all constructions here. As you saw, I didn't mean that it's code related to LWC component, but it's recognized that connector callback is related to LWC component and explain what does it mean. And it explains almost everything.
So it's even mentioned the classes from the code and write it human-like format. Like this class is about something and another function is about something, right?
Yeah, that's all about explanation, but almost all. But I'd like to show one more time the code. As you can see, there is a double tilde sign at the second row. It doesn't. The ChatGPT didn't explain what does it mean, but who remember what does it mean? Can you raise a hand? in terms of JS development.
Which one? You can use a pointer to highlight the line.
Here, double tilde sign. What does it mean? Actually, I don't remember as well, and I asked ChatGPT explain because it didn't explain on the first video. I just asked what about double tilde sign and explain what does it mean and how it interacts with other parts of the code. So I'd like to sum up that it's helpful to have all explanations in one place because developer can spend a lot of time to get what's going on in the code without it.
Could you please read these small letters? Yeah, you can read from
the screen. The double sign operator is a bitwise operator in JavaScript called double node or double bitwise node operator, and it used So in general, it's similar to floor function from math library, but it works faster because it bitwise operation. Okay, go to another use case. Yeah, let's ask ChatGPT review code for potential vulnerabilities. Let's imagine that there is a code that launched when a patient record is created, and there is a requirement to create a task record when a patient status field is updated to some values. Yeah, it's quite pretty easy for developers, but we should proceed. Sorry. Yeah, the same situation. I've just put it the previous request to ChatGPT. And yeah, in parallel, as you can see, it indicates some potential vulnerabilities and listed them in the chat. We can split them in the following groups. The first one is bottlenecks for null pointer issues. The second one, so-called query inside for a loop, and the third one is code blocks where potential exceptions may be raised but not handled. And I'd like to more information that it didn't. I can go a bit back to show the code. Here, as you can see, there is the mail statement operation. And ChatGPT didn't indicate that the mail statement is placed for a loop statement because this function is called from this block from for a loop. So I'd like to know that ChatGPT can be a replacement for the developer because he didn't understand all potential vulnerabilities. So please breathe out. Let's go to another use case. Let's watch how ChatGPT can generate a code for a provided task. Let's imagine that there is a following data model. It's pretty easy to understand that there is a unit as object, and it has two child as objects, patient and milestone type. In simple words, my request sounds like I need a function that returns all units with its milestone types by patient ID. But as for developer perspective, it looks like a bit stronger. But to get appropriate response from chat, you have to explain all details. So let's watch the response. Sorry, it's not visible well, but here ChatGPT responds that's relevant, short, and optimal code. And in majority of cases, ChatGPT works properly and provide appropriate responses as for in terms of code. But sometimes a much higher level of accuracy is needed to get what you want. Let's watch what ChatGPT generate other responses for the same task. Yeah, it's not visible as well, sorry, but in a nutshell, the code here is not correct because ChatGPT doesn't understand correctly relationships between S objects. Here, he thought that a patient object is a parent for a milestone type. That is incorrect from the scratch. Let's watch one more response regarding this task. Here, response from ChatGPT, where ChatGPT puts a so-called query inside for a loop. I couldn't say that it's incorrect, but it's not optimal because it doesn't follow best practices. Let's go to another use case. And here I asked ChatGPT to generate tests for a previous generated code. As you can see, it provides the whole test class. It generated test data and finally generate and test our previous generated function. So it was done in seconds, and I would say it cool thing to create a sample, but you need to detailize some things if you need. Yeah. That's all that I wanted to say to tell you about ChatGPT. You saw its main benefits and features, and I'm sure it's interesting technology. We plan to exchange experience ChatGPT usage, and we will organize panel discussions where we'll be able to share your experience and best practices. I'd like to know that my presentation was almost created with ChatGPT usage. Thank you for the listening.
Thank you. That's a nice Easter egg for this presentation. So at least we need now the text-to-voice bot, and this will be completely good presentation. So.